Good day, students. This is Miss Cowart. Today we are going to take our household budget percent guidelines a little bit further, and we're going to actually apply those principles to a typical household monthly budget. Now, I can hear you moaning and whinging on now. Miss Cowart, do we really have to look at this more? Yes, you do, because Miss Cowart cares about you. And when you get out of school and you're on your own, I want this to be second nature to you. I want you to know exactly how to handle all of your finances so that you don't have to spend a lot of time on them, and you can spend your time doing things that you want to do, and you'll have the money to do what you would like to do. So this is very important stuff here. Now, you'll see on your screen a breakdown of a household monthly budget. I am supplying you a copy of this household monthly budget. I am not making you type this, so you're welcome. All I'm asking you to do today is to do a financial analysis of how this family is doing based on the spreadsheet that we made yesterday on the household budget percent guidelines. If you don't remember that, it was this little do-jobber here. So we want to see how in line they are with all of these different kinds of expenses. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, I'm going to be using spreadsheets to show you how to do formulas to see how this family's expense breakdown is working out for them. Now, I'm going to go out of print preview. I had it in print preview so that you could see the entire spreadsheet, but we're going to go ahead and look at this spreadsheet here. We're going to have to create formulas, and if you'll remember yesterday when we created a formula, we clicked on the cell where we wanted the formula to take place, and then we began our formula with an equal sign. Anytime you want to put a formula in a spreadsheet, that's the way you do it. You start it with an equal sign. And basically what we want to do is find out what percent of income each expense or cost is of our total income. Now, if you look at this household monthly budget, we have two salaries coming into this household. So this is more than likely a married couple, and their entire monthly income is $6,500. So what I want to do is find out what percentage the mortgage is of the $6,500. So I'm going to tell the financial analysis. I'm going to use the actual column because these were their actual expenses. And I want to know, I'm going to take my expense and I'm going to divide it by my total income to find out what the percentage is. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now as you can see, the mortgage is 15.38% of our total income. So this is what I want to do for each and every one of these expenses going down the sheet. So I'm going to find out how much the car lease is by dividing the car lease by 6,500. And you see I'm simply clicking on the cells where I want the equation to take place. Now I'm doing an extra loan they apparently have. Now I'm going to do all of their insurance. You have to have a lot of different kinds of insurance. When you get out on your own, you need to have your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, and then you don't have to have life insurance, but it is a good idea, especially if you have children, to have some life insurance. That way you can make sure that they're taken care of if anything happens to you. And you can make sure your family has the money they need to take care of your final arrangements and that kind of thing. Not something you probably give a lot of thought to at the age of 12, 13, 14, but when you get older, you will. This family actually gives to charity. Awesome. So I'm going to divide everything by E9, which is where our total income is. This couple has children apparently, and they are expensive. This is just the daycare cost here for child care. And then they have some other expenses, which they've kept at 0, which is good. Okay, so now let's go down here to the semi-variable expenses. Remember, the semi-variable expenses are those that have both a fixed and a variable or a changing component. We're going to find out how much each one of these utilities and other supplies take of the total 6,500. Now, remember, when I put these formulas in, I could enter the numbers to make the equations happen, but then as my situation changes and I get a pay raise or one of my expenses goes up, I don't have to redo these formulas because whatever number I put in the cell will automatically calculate in my formula, which is an advantage. So I'm going to go through and do all of these. I'm trying to keep it all on the same screen to make it easier for me. And I'm just going to go in and figure all of these out all the way down. I'm going to have to try to make this screen even smaller. I hope you're going to be able to see this so that I can get all of this on one page. There we go. Equal sign. And just so that you know, the way I made my screen smaller was by holding my control key and hitting my minus key. That's how I did that. I'm still not. There we go. Going to make these happen. Now, I know yesterday I showed you a little shortcut where you could use a fill down method and you didn't have to enter all of these formulas. We are not able to use that shortcut here because our formula is not following the same pattern. So in order to get it to calculate properly, we actually have to specify the cell numbers this time because we're keeping 6,500 as a constant. So actually that's cell number E9. And so our formula wouldn't work properly if we just did the fill down. All right. I think that takes care of, oh no, we've got a few more expenses here. Let's see what those are. Oh yeah, we probably should do this. Multiplying or dividing our total income, each expense by our total income. And again, we're using all the figures on the actual column because we want to know actually how they did. And it looks like just while I'm putting these formulas in, like this family has done pretty well. Okay, so now I've got all of my percentages in, so I can now pull this over and work in half screen mode and find the comparison sheet, and let's see how they did. Okay, so their mortgage is 15.38%, so they're well within the 25% guideline that we specified yesterday. As a matter of fact, they could even afford a little bit more house. Their car insurance, let's see, we recommended that it be 10% of the income, and they're at 13, so they're not too bad over. I think that our sheet that we read said it could be up to 20% if you want a fancier car. This family may have like an SUV to accommodate their kids or something like that. So they're a little high there, but not too bad. Okay, they have an additional loan, which is 3.85%, and that's going to fall under debt category. 3% is well within the 8% guideline, so they're okay there. Insurance, altogether, your insurance should be 5%, and it looks like they're at about little over 4%. So they're in line there with their insurance. Charitable donations, we could put that in personal, and so yeah, they're within the 10%. Child care, that's a big expense, and if you'll notice over here, we did not include child care, and it's a full 15%. Now, what I'm thinking is this family has kept a smaller home to accommodate the expense of their children. And this is a very common decision that couples make, one that your parents may have made, staying in a smaller house for a longer period of time so that you can pay for that child care. Let's see, utilities, that's going to be your electric, telephone, cable, internet, all 4 of those. Okay, they need to stay within 10%. Looks as though they're good here. They're right around 10% there. Now, you remember the videos we watched, the Pittsburgh dad running around turning off lights and that kind of thing. This is one of your controllable expenses here that you can be frivolous. And so that's why the dad was being so upset. Okay, groceries, 15%. We're at 11%. So that's good. Gas. This is your transportation expense. It looks a little bit high. Maybe this family commutes into Atlanta or something like that. Then we're going to look at pet, medical, and personal care. Those 3 should not exceed 10%. But then we had another 3% up here, charitable donations. We said that was personal. So they're still falling well within the range of what they need to. But with entertainment, they're pushing it a little bit. And then they did have some miscellaneous expenses down here that may put them over on the personal care just a tiny bit. Notice here that I don't see, this is all a breakdown of expenses. I don't see savings. So that's something they might want to consider putting in their budget, but with children, it's very difficult to do. So if you were this family, I want you to give me some recommendations of some things you might do to make changes to their budget. And we've talked about them during this video. They may need to look at their variable expenses. They may need to curb some of their personal expenditures. And it looks to me like they might need to add some savings somewhere along the line. But go ahead and write me a 5-sentence paragraph and tell me 3 changes you would make to their budget. Okay, that'll complete this assignment. Turn in your completed spreadsheet as well as your paragraph on a doc. So you're going to be turning in a spreadsheet and a document on this assignment. Thanks. Have a great day.